Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Memorial Day. Woof. May 26, 2025. And we'll give you the latest on the NBA, the NHL. Miko Rantanen had the right idea. We'll give you what you need to know about the Broncos OTAs and Travis Hunter getting married with no prenup. What could go wrong? And we start with your Colorado Rockies, of all teams, the Rockies and the Yankees. We're brought to you by Journey Spice. You can save 10% right now using the code 10 Nuggets. That's 10 Nuggets on Journey Spice. And it's so easy to use their QR code. It's right there. So snap on that QR code, and then you'll get into the world of Journey Spice. Incredible spices, better for the environment with the packaging, singles, 2-packs, 4-packs, part of my life every single day. We absolutely love Journey Spice. And if you want to see how easy it is, I'm never too far from my Journey Spice. This is a little Sicilian seasoning, but you just pinch on the top. It comes right off. You put it on, resealable, reusable, plastic in. Flavor in, plastic out. I'm like a mile long, 3 inches deep. Flavor in, plastic out. Journey Spice. Find it at Amazon.com. Well, on the Rockies. And we'll get to your comments in a little bit. So if you got any comments about anything, we'll definitely get to those and see what's on your mind. You know, you're not going to believe me when I say that a team that is 0 for 17 in series, when I talk about a team that is 9 and 44, when I talk about a team that is doing worse than any other team through a 53-game sort of slate, you're never going to believe me when I say that there are certain things that don't look that bad. But there are certain things that are just so awful. Antonio Sensatella is a terrible pitcher and really shouldn't be on the mound. And he had a good day yesterday, but he's not good. The Rockies also on Saturday lost 13-1. They lost 5-4 yesterday, but they did beat the Yankees Friday night on a day where the Yankees, battling for the best record overall in baseball, and the Knicks both lost. It was somewhat of a satisfying feeling to see the Rockies actually win a game against the New York Yankees. I mean, there was something great about that. I don't know why. 3-2 was the final, and they got the win. Sometimes the Rockies, as in yesterday, when they were, it was a nip and tuck game. The game was delayed by close to 2 hours. And Mickey Moniak. Did you know a guy named Mickey Moniak was on the Rockies? He gets up there and slugs a home run. And Patrick Saunders, our guy from the Denver Post, he was there to talk to Moniak.
Yeah, he's got a good fastball. He's having a hell of a year. He's really good last year. I had a chance to face him last year in Anaheim, so kind of knew what his stuff does. He's got right on his fastball. Knew he liked the heater, and just kind of going up there, lead off the inning, trying to get a good pitch to hit, and ideally stay on the fastball, and was able to do that and put a good swing on it.
Kind of crazy, the rainy day, the sun finally comes out. It's beautiful, it's bright. You lead off the ninth with a homer, you cut it to 1. You're thinking maybe a little magic happening?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think, you saw it that last inning. We put ourselves in a good chance to, tie the game and potentially go ahead. So, obviously it didn't fall our way today. And, crazy day, delays, all that stuff. It's one of those days where you have zero control. You just got to kind of stay focused and make sure you're ready to go once the game does start. And, we were able to do that. We're 1 hit away.
He's not lying about that. They were 1 hit away, and they got runners on first and second with 1 out, and they just couldn't deliver. And Hunter Goodman with a chance to, have that magical hit. in the bottom of the ninth, dribbled out to the pitcher to end the game. Listen, I'm not going to try to polish a turd here, nor do I want to sound like a Rockies apologist. I just want to tell you what's going on. They have some terrible players that should not be big leaguers. Senzatella is one of them, okay? He is awful. But they hung in there. They hung in there enough. Jake Bird is pitching great. Halverson has more good moments than bad. Tyler Kinley's been pitching much, much better. Kyle Freeland has been all right. Marquez is fine. I mean, Dollander, I know he's hurt, but he's a real major leaguer. There's no doubt about it. When they need that big hit, they're just not there. And they had 13 strikeouts, so they're not making enough contact with the ball either, clearly. But they did battle the Yankees tough in 2 out of 3 games, winning one of them. It's a brutal stretch for them now. They go to Chicago, then they go to New York to take on the Mets before going down to Miami. But every game is a brutal stretch. How was the attendance, though? Now, check this out. This is crazy. The New York Yankees experienced more fans in attendance in Coors Field, 128,000, than 5 of the 8 series in Yankee Stadium in the Bronx this season. How does this happen? We'll get to your comments in just a second. The Rockies go again around noon or so against the Cubs. Congratulations to Travis Hunter and Leanna Lene. They did not sign a prenup. Love is grand, and we wish them the best. He gave her like a $200,000 car as a wedding gift. He has a signing bonus of $30.6 million. I mean, that's you just got that. It's just, no matter what happens in Travis Hunter's life, he got 30 million, almost $31 million, with more to come. I wish him the best. I guess I'll just leave it there. I'm sure we all wish them the best. You can wish them the best in the comments. Hey, listen, I got engaged when I was 23. I got married when I was 25. I paid $900 for an engagement ring that I had to put on layaway from Reed's Jewelers in the Shopping Town Mall in Fayetteville near Syracuse. It took me like 5 months to pay that $900 ring off. But then again, when I was hired as a producer for the Fat Man's Wake Up Service for 104.7 Kicks FM, I did not get a $30.6 million signing bonus. There's that. Moving on to the NHL, it's kind of apparent what's going on with Mikko Rantanen. And listen, the NHL's got to do this seeding different. The Hurricanes are in the Eastern Conference Final, and they are terrible. They are getting absolutely destroyed game after game. They lose 6-2 to the Panthers. The series is 3-0. Likely it wraps up today as... Oh, I got a cat story for you later, by the way. Stay tuned for the cat story. The Panthers and Hurricanes later today. Yeah, the cat story. This is a weird Memorial Day weekend for your boy. Yesterday, the Oilers beat the Stars 6-1. Mikko Rantanen had an assist. That series could go a bunch of different ways. But right now, it looks good for Edmonton as they lead 2-1. Meanwhile, in the NBA, nice comeback by the Knicks. I thought that ship was sinking. Karl Anthony Towns had a big fourth quarter. They win 106-100. That is a no home team has won so far in that series. The Pacers lead 2-1. So good, exciting basketball for sure, no doubt about it. And the Timberwolves destroyed the Thunder, caught them sleeping, beat them by more than 40. They play a little bit later tonight. Oklahoma City leads that series 2-1. I thought it would go maybe 5. I thought the Timberwolves would sneak one out. They did in emphatic fashion. So we'll see with that series. But that's, good action right there, too. Does it feel weird that the Nuggets and the Avs still aren't in it right now? And I'm sitting here going on and on about the Rockies. Yeah, actually, yeah. Yeah, I miss it. I mean, we should be having Memorial Day is great. Well, I don't know. It was just pouring rain out the whole weekend. And salute all of those running the Boulder. My hat's off to you. I've been lucky to do that race many, many times over the years. This is not the type of day that I would want to be. Well, I mean, if you're trying to run a fast time, it's overcast and lousy out. So, yeah, I mean, maybe you could get a fast time in the Boulder. I've done the Boulder a lot. I think you can see some Boulder things behind me, can't you? Yeah, right behind me, right there. There's one of them. There's another one up there. Well, I don't know what that's from. But that might be from last year. It might not. Oh, there's another over there. Oh, tipping my basketball. Yeah, I'll get to the cat story in a second. The cat story. I'll tell you the cat story right now. So on Friday night, now, as you may or may not know, I live in Lone Tree, and I only live a couple miles from the radio station. So going to work is all downhill, except for there's one little stretch right near the end going to work where I have to go uphill. So I do end up as a sweaty mess when I get to work. Anyways, back uphill is the way to go for about 3 or so miles. It's almost straight uphill for 3 miles. Okay. I called my lovely wife on Friday, and she's home, and I'm off of work. I said, let's go get some cold drinks over there at Blue Island, relatively close to the house. And she said, why don't you come home and shower and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, I really just would rather be drinking margaritas right now. But okay, I'll come home. I come home, and we have a little porch off the back of we have like a brownstone townhome sort of deal here in the Lone Tree area. And the cats go out there, and we have 2 of them, Ross and Rachel, named by my younger son after Ross and Rachel from Friends. And Ross multiple times has jumped off the deck. And usually when he jumps off the deck, first of all, it's a weird move because what's he doing? Where's he going? He usually circles somewhat near the house. Well, on Friday I come home and we're ready to go out, or think we're ready to go out, and Ross is nowhere to be found. Ross has jumped off the deck. My wife had been supervising the cats, and had I been supervising the cats and Ross disappeared, it would not been good. Now, it's my wife who's into the cats more so than me, and Ross is just gone, but usually he just, he's near the garage door, he's near the front stairs, he's somewhere around. Ross is nowhere to be found. And this just absolutely destroys our vibe on a Friday night. It's just like, where is Ross the cat? And so we go into Saturday, and there's some weather coming. And then again, no Ross. And now it's starting to get a little worried, right? Now I'm sitting out on the porch out by the front. We're putting some food out there. We're doing our things. And, it's a little tense around the household. And my guy, Aaron Anderson, was so nice to invite me over to his place. But we were in the middle of some cat drama, and it just was not good. Then yesterday comes along, and Saturday night was a terrible rainstorm. I mean, a huge rainstorm, as was yesterday afternoon too. But it was like, whoa. And my heart's going out. Where's my guy Ross? Like, how's he? What's going on here? And then Sunday afternoon, my wife, patrolling next door, sees that somebody has taken a photo of a cat. They put out a little food for him and posted that. And sure enough, that was Ross the cat. And Ross the cat was at a neighbor kind of close down the street. And so we go outside and look for Ross the cat. And all of a sudden, my wife hears him. Unbelievable. This is 2 days later, more than 48 hours. I thought he was a goner. And he's up a tree, and he's meowing his head off. And I went to get a ladder, but before I could do the ladder rescue, my wife had coaxed him down with a little toy and let him, like the Pied Piper, back into the house. But then you say, well, will Ross and Rachel get along? And Rachel was not happy. Either she wasn't happy that Ross left in the first place, or she's not happy that he's back. And now we're doing cat mitigation in terms of the two of them getting along, even though they've known each other for years and had children together despite being brother and sister. Yeah. So what's happening now is a reintegration of the cats together, and that's how I've been spending my Memorial Day weekend. But we did have a fabulous dinner last night while it was pouring out, and I was trying to watch the rest of the Rockies game on TV. But MLB, who carries the Rockies game, we don't have a local RSN for the Rockies. It's just on MLB. It's at their whim. And they just decided, you've seen enough Rockies. And so they never put, at least not on my device, they never put the Rockies game back on TV. So while we're having a delicious dinner, which was really fabulous because we had reunited the cats and we felt they were okay, I couldn't actually watch the Rockies where I'd normally be able to watch them. Just on the phone, but that's good enough. And I ended up watching on StatCast. It was I'm reading the Rockies game instead of actually watching them lose again. And that's my battle with cats this past weekend. That's how, and now I could hear my wife. She's trying to get the cats to reintegrate, and it's Rachel. She gets pissed off, which is funny because I think Ross could beat I think he could. He's stronger, but he is a dumb wimp. This is the type of content you get when the Avs and Nuggets are not in the playoffs anymore. It's the true stories that count. We'll get to more of your comments. We'll get to your comments in a second. Let's hear from my pals at Journey Spice.
There's a world of flavor out there, and to find it, you have to take the journey. Journey Spice Company handcrafts the most premium spice and seasoning blends that have no sugar, no salt, are certified USDA organic, non-GMO, vegan-friendly, and always planet-friendly. You are going to love serving amazingly delicious creations while knowing you helped reduce single-use plastics. Make sure to search for Journey Spice Company on Amazon today.
And plastic out there, the best. Thank you. I love you, Andon. I love you, Rosa. I love Journey Spice. They are so loyal. They are the best. All right, let's get to some of your comments here and see what you say. Yay, cat story is somehow related to Carolina hockey. How was the Yacht Rock concert? Thank you for asking, RJ. It's next Saturday. When you get in your 50s, sometimes specifics of things elude you. Again, a mile long, 3 inches deep. You need Fubo with local sport. I have Fubo. That's what I have. Come on, DMac, tell me why your name is DMac. Darren McKee. My name is Darren McKee. Darren D. McKee. Mick. Mac. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. I can save 10% buying the Rockies. Maybe we can go fund me a baseball team. There's something that tells me I don't know when it's going to happen. And I know rooting for the Rockies to win is reassurance that, hey, Dick Monfort, it's all good. And when you see incredible attendance numbers, you really do question the sanity of people. And you realize when big teams come here, the Dodgers or the Yankees or, the visiting fans book vacations around it because Colorado is such a cool place to be. I'm sure There were tons of Yankees fans from all over the country that said, oh, yeah, I want to see Aaron Judge hit balls at Coors Field. And he did hit a couple of homers, and he hit really well over the entire series. So I don't blame him. I don't blame him. It's a beautiful ballpark. It's a wonderful downtown area. Now, do I want to be smashed in with 47 other thousand people at Coors Field? No, not really, unless it's the World Series. But I understand the appeal of the ballpark. It's incredible. And the fact that the Rockies, the Yankees at Coors Field could outdraw themselves at Yankee Stadium, whose stadium is just as big as Coors Field, is actually remarkable. It says something. It says something about how great our state is, how incredible the stadium is. It says something. It says that if you could field a winning team, boy, would this fan base love it. And I'm not trying to prop up Dick Monfort nor Bill Schmidt. It's clear that if you want a successful franchise, you really do probably need to change ownership and just retool the whole thing. And if you're not going to change ownership, you've got to just reimagine literally everything. But all that being said, I still pull for the Rockies. I am pulling for them to win games. There's something that I like Warren Schaefer, this new manager, and I thought Bud Black was a terrible manager. There have been some subtle changes with Warren Schaefer and Bud Black, and they're not quite clicking in all the way yet, but you got glimpses. It was a 3-2 win over the Yankees. It was a 5-4 loss to the Yankees. They were right in it. Yeah, okay, in the middle of your Rockies shizzle sandwich, they, lost 13-1. I mean, I get that. Something just tells me something's going to turn with the Rockies at some point. Why? I have no idea. Dominic, good morning to you. Happy Boulder Day. I'm shocked the Rockies won a single game against the Yankees. No radio show today. No radio show. Everybody's off for Memorial Day. So while this podcast rolls on, we are off on the radio, and something else is on there, and I don't know what it is. T from the 203. Hey, your Florida Panthers are doing incredible. Now, they should reseed in a different way and all that, but Florida is an amazing team. And the fact that you got Marshawn on top of everything, I think Florida is likely to win the Cup again. So you guys should be happy in South Florida. I thought it was because you liked mac on cheese. No. Sup, y'all? Grass Valley Greg. Love you, pal. Good to see you. I hear it's cheaper to fly from LA to Denver and watch the Dodgers at Coors than buying a ticket for the Dodger Stadium. Is that right? Yikes. It also says Yankees fans travel well. Get ready for the 6th borough in August when the Yankees play in Miami. That's true. Wow. How did you get into radio broadcasting? We're doing a retrospective. All right, last one here, and we'll wrap things up. I was always blown away and fascinated just by the radio. My favorite radio disc jockey was a guy named Charles Laquidara, who hosted a show called The Big Mattress on WBCN, a rock station in Boston. And Charles was into, they played rock music, first of all, so there's the music. But Charles was into comedy. And there's a comedian or a comic actor voice guy, Billy West. And you may have heard of Billy West because of Ren and Stimpy, and he's one of the better voice guys. And Billy West was a signature guy on Howard Stern show when Howard Stern show was good. It's not now, but it was at one point. And Billy West was the funniest guy on the funniest show. But I didn't listen to that so much as I listened to him on WBCN with Charles Laquidara. And it was like, funny wake-up calls, and he would have Roger Clemens on, and a lot of comedy. He had Tank, the sports guy. He had a show that sounded like there was 1,000 people there each and every single day. And there was just something to me that was incredible about that. And I just thought, well, that's what I want to do. In fact, I thought everybody would want to do it. I thought everybody would want to be on the radio. Like, this is an easy choice. And in 1990, when I was at Syracuse, I was lucky enough to run into Jonathan Trowan, a producer of his, at a bar called 44s, and it was incredible. Jonathan was taking a leave of absence from the radio program to actually go to school. And it was unbelievable to run into Jonathan at this bar in Syracuse. And somebody, I don't even know how it happened. I don't know how I exactly met him, but he was about to go back and produce Charles's show. This is incredible luck for me. And I said I would love to work on it. And he got me a job like answering phones as an intern. And from there, I helped, craft some of the wake-up calls. I was on a couple of skits. I wrote a fake parody commercial called Mall Cops. It was crazy. It was crazy that I got to work with Charles Arquidera for a summer of 1990. And it was a transformational experience. Now, I'd also been working in college radio. And at the time, I'd actually been on the radio. I was working at a classic rock station. But being able to work with one of my heroes was just amazing. So it's not like I didn't have radio experience. I had quite a bit of it, at least as much as you can get in 3 years. But then I was able to work in Boston at WBCN, and they wanted me to continue. And it's an amazing thing. I probably, looking back on it, I probably should have transferred from Syracuse to Boston University, which is 1 mile down the road. And had I done that, I probably would have been working there to that day. The irony is WBCN turned into 98.5 The Sports Hub, and Toucher and Rich were the last show on WBCN, the music station, and still, well, Toucher, at least, Rich left the show, but Toucher has been on the Sports Hub ever since. So the irony of rock stations turning into sports talk stations is not lost on me. In fact, I was offered a job at WAAF with a guy named Greg Hill and Lyndon Byers, an ex-Bruins player. Turned that down because the money was terrible, but they were nice guys. And WAAF, while not my, dream station growing up, was definitely like a station in Boston that was a major player in Boston. And I was offered a job working with those guys too, but I turned it down for KBPI because my wife was pregnant and they weren't paying any money. That's that host, because AAF I think is still alive, but Greg Hill is now the morning show host at WEEI, which is another sports talk station in Boston. So there's no doubt, in my mind, had I stayed in Boston for whatever reason, I would be doing sports talk now, most likely in Boston. I had two significant paths that would have led me in that direction in Boston. And I turned it down for Denver, and I don't have one regret about it. I don't. Because there's nothing better than Colorado. There's nothing better than Denver. I wouldn't want to cover any other sport except for these Denver, Colorado teams, even teams that are as lousy as the Rockies. And I always dreamed that I would be, a radio star in Boston. And I had a chance. I've had a couple of chances, actually. But I have no regrets whatsoever. I'll take Colorado over Boston. And I'm not trying to break my parents' hearts here because they know I love them. And being on the radio and doing sports in Boston certainly would have been great, obviously. It would have been a great other way to go. But I don't have any regrets about it. That is the super short story. The longer story about radio kind of goes on and on and on. Involved with this is being fired more than 10 times and moving across the country and being fired here in Colorado and having to get new jobs here on and off. And discovering the magical of this format right here, this digital media, when, this was nothing. This was absolutely nothing. Nothing. When I first dreamed of getting to radio, this was, did not exist. So to think about, having a lengthy career, which no matter what, my first radio broadcast was in 1987. So to be, what is that? 97, 2007, 17. My 38-year anniversary of radio, of being on the air somewhere, is coming up in November. So just keep going. Just keep going. But I'm so proud that I've been on in Denver on a variety of stations since 1999. So for 26 years. So I've been here longer than anywhere else. And there you go. That's the story. All right. What's up? Good to see. That's funny and sad. Yeah. Tell me about it. All right. I really want to get into radio broadcasting, but didn't know if you got to go to college for it. You don't have to. You don't have to go to college for it. And there's no, you don't have to. It's hard to do if you don't go to college for it, because I don't know how you start. I mean, that's how I started, was college radio, Z89, which is kind of a legendary college radio station from Syracuse. But I am not in their Hall of Fame. They have a Hall of Fame. I've been a professional broadcaster for 38 years. I worked there for 6 years because I was at Syracuse for a couple of years after I graduated. I was the program director, production director, morning show host. I hosted every show you could imagine. I kept the station on during summer times and lean years back in the early 80s, 90s. I could not have done more at that radio station. And I am and I'm one of the few people who is still on the air, who was, doing the DJ thing back then. And I am not in their Hall of Fame. I guess I haven't done enough yet. But do you think that bothers me? I'll be back on Thursday for another DMac SMak. You guys are the absolute best. I love you. So Thursday at 7:30. I'll see you then. We have Broncos OTAs to get into, and we'll be talking all about that by the time we reconvene on Thursday here on DMac SMak on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. It is incredibly important that you like and subscribe. There's so many of you that are watching that haven't subscribed. What's wrong with you? Get it together. Subscribe now. And we'll talk to you on the radio tomorrow at noon. We're back here on the old digital Thursday at 7:30. Thank you to Journey Spice. Thank you for watching.